evening, the student of 4th Integrated MBA. Today, we are going to take the externalities in macroeconomics. For every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. That reaction either be positive or negative. The effect of that positive or negative activities, we used to call it as externalities. In this class, we are going to discuss about what is externality and what are the types of externality and how it is divided into positive and negative, how industry and other society or individual is affected with the externalities, how it has been classified, and an example for positive externality and negative externality. All these chapters will be discussed in this class. Now, let's start with what is an externality. An externality is a cost or benefit caused by the producer that is not financially incurred or received by that producer. We may say a producer is responsible for it, but he never take all the effect of that because it has been transferred to the third party. An externality can be positive or negative and can stem from either the production or consumption of goods and services. This cost and benefit, either it will be positive or negative, or it may be from private or social. So an externality does not affect the entity caused by the externality. The externality by nature is generally environmental, such as natural resources or public health. For example, a negative externality in a business is that causes pollution and it diminishes the environment values and of course the properties of the political territory and the health of the people in the surrounding area. On the other hand, it may give a positive effect also. A positive externality includes action that reduce the transmission of diseases or avoid the use of a very long treatment to run off the rivers. Thus, it contributes excess plant growth in the lakes. So it is a positive effect because of that particular action. So externalities are different from donation, partner, or open source software. So these kind of things will not be included as externalities. Now let's move to the types of externality. The externality is broadly classified into two categories. One is the negative externality, that is the externality which gives a negative effect is negative externality, and on the other hand, it will provide some positive effects also. Those things are collectively called positive externality. This particular negative and positive is further classified into two categories based on the consumption and production. So how we have to make this classification? There are 4 different types of externalities related with the effect as well as the type of production. For example, in production there are 2 externalities. One is positive production externality, negative production externality. Like that, for consumption also, positive consumption externality and negative consumption externality. So these are the 4 types. How to identify whether it is positive or negative? Based on the effect only we have to say, because the time has to say. While initiating, it's not possible to say it is positive or negative. But once we get some example out of it, then suppose any action which is not affected by that particular producer or the person in charge, but it affects the society or any other group of people, then this externality will have influence over it. Suppose it may give positive, it may give negative. For example, if you educate a particular person, that education will definitely, that family will come up and he will work and his skill will be used in the industry. So education is given only to the individual, but society gets benefited. It is a positive externality. On the other hand, suppose if you start an industry, definitely there will be some pollution. It may be air pollution, it may be land pollution. So that pollution, that particular producer is not only increasing, but also the society. This is external externality. For example, how we can easily say, suppose if because of a particular action, the environment or health is affected, then it is negative externality. On the other hand, suppose if the society is getting benefited, then it is positive externality. Let's move to the next stage. What are the features of externality? There are 2 peculiar features that should be mentioned here. One is these kind of externality, there is a possibility to avoid them. The second one, because of the course of a particular production activity, there will be some positive or negative with the third party. These two are the main features of an externality. We can give one example with the healthcare product. If you benefit the positive externality from others receiving the healthcare, suppose now we are undergoing the pandemic situation. If the neighborhood is testing that whether there is a corona or not, suppose you give the vaccination and he said he is free from corona, you are also benefited, because if he affect that, will won't be get. So that any vaccination for others is a social benefit for us. So this is a right example for the externality. Let's move to the next part. What are the positive and negative externalities? In this, we have to give one or two examples. For example, if you take an insurance, if you pay the money and you are pale and healthy and you are not claiming medical insurance, then it is a negative externality for you, because you paid huge amount for the insurance. Suppose any person is sick and he claimed that particular insurance, it is multiples of actual premium. So for him, it is a positive externality. For us, it is negative externality. So the same action, it may differ from person to person. If you avail that medical claim and you are paid for the doctor, then it is a positive externality that you benefited out of your premium. Suppose you are not undergoing any sickness and you are hale and healthy, definitely the insurance company not going to pay your medical claim. So this is a negative externality. How to control the externality? There are two ways. One is implementing the regulation, Environmental Act, Healthcare Act, Education Policy, all these things definitely will control the externalities. And there is one peculiar term called Pigouvian tax. That means this particular tax is derived with the name of RC Pigou. Why? Because if there is a negative externality because of a particular industry, that particular industry will have to pay some amount to the government in order to eradicate the pollution or any other externality created by that industry. That particular tax is called Pigouvian tax. The second method is giving subsidies for encouraging positive externalities, and we used to call the technical term in economics called marginal rate of substitution. Suppose a particular product is detrimental to the society, we can try to get an alternative product for that, for solving the same purpose. For that, we are investing in the research and development. Any investment in the research and development is considered to be the positive externality. Suppose if that particular thing is happening, if they try to avoid a particular product which is detrimental to the public, for that the government is giving subsidies, then it is a positive externality. Finally, let's move to the last part of the thing. There are four different externality: two with the consumption, two with the production. First one is positive external in consumption, negative externality in consumption. I have already given a particular example. If your neighborhood is hale and healthy and you are vaccinated, you are also benefited out of it. On the other hand, it is in reverse. Suppose he is using a polluted machine or anything else, definitely your health is affected because of he is using the motorbike. You are affected. This is negative consumption of externality. In the same way, in case of production, the honeybee is a right business now. The beekeeper is definitely giving a positive externality because he is providing honey and he is cultivating more trees. So it is favorable for the environment. For that, we have to pay some subsidies for them. It is a positive externality. In the same way, suppose it is you that those trees are used for the producing paper, the waste is dumped in the river. So the river get polluted because of the same agro-based industries. So if any particular industry giving some benefit to the society, then it is a positive externality through production. Suppose if you get creating some pollution, then it is negative externality of production. With this, I am winding up the class. I understand you people are busy with your internals. All the best. Today you are having 10 to 11:30. You are having project management. Instead, I will share this particular PPT and YouTube channel to our group. All the best. Do well.